It just died on me. What the hell? There's no spark. Fuck. What the hell?
Hey you guys, how's it going? I came out here, a bit of an unexpected video here for you guys today. This morning I was actually taking the CRF 450L out to work. I was gonna ride it to work, and maybe 20 feet down the road, this thing completely shut off on me. And we're gonna find out what went wrong. I've literally only taken the bike out on its first ride, and then that was gonna be its second ride on the new supermoto setup. So yeah, definitely don't have a lot of hours on this bike, just barely getting things broken in. And yeah, we ran into a little issue this morning. So we have time now. We're gonna start tearing into the bike. We're gonna try and take a look at what might have caused this. I'm thinking, after rewatching the footage from this morning, that possibly the spark plug might have blown out of the cylinder. That's the only thing I can really think of, just based off of how it sounded from the GoPro footage. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna start tearing into this thing. We have to do a little bit of maintenance anyway on it. We do have to replace the water with coolant, and we do have to change the oil. But first I wanna get this issue figured out, just in case, you know, off chance that it were to become something bigger, we would be prepared to know what our next step would be. So let's take a look at here, what this issue might be. Again, I'm gonna take a look at the spark plug first, because I think it might have blown out of the cylinder. I've actually never had that happen before, but let's take a look. All I have to say right now, guys, is I just got extremely lucky. I think I've realized my mistake. This is actually my mistake. When I did the top end on this motor, I think I overlooked one extremely critical but extremely small detail. And here I'm gonna show you guys right now exactly what I think went wrong here. And I'm just gonna say it, you know, I'm really, really lucky that this motor isn't, you know, in a million pieces right now, because this issue definitely could have been substantially worse. I got really lucky that it was at extremely, extremely low RPM. The engine shut off right away, you know. And let me show you guys, I think, what went wrong. So here on these CRFs, this outer camshaft bearing can actually move to the side. It's how you remove the camshaft here from the engine. You just move the side, move the cam bearing to the side, and it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Now, it looks like the cam bearing, literally while the bike was running, moved to the side and essentially let the cam just have a lot more free tension, and the cam wasn't you know, able to open and close the valves effectively because it was just moved off to the side without enough tension on that one side. But what could have happened is the bearing was just sitting ever so slightly to the left of this tang, enough to where I didn't really notice it, and essentially the bearing was sitting right here. It didn't have this locating tang holding it in place, so it just popped out. I believe that's what happened here. As you guys can see, there's quite a bit of space here next to this tang for the bearing to look like it's seated in place, but it's very, very possible that it actually wasn't. Rather just sitting next to the tang, here this locating clip right here, and not actually, you know, in place where it should be. I think that's what happened, guys. And here I got extremely, extremely lucky that this engine didn't jump timing or anything like that, because that could have been, again, completely detrimental to the engine. We could have had to completely rebuild the entire engine right when we just did all this work on the bike, get the engine out, get all this wiring back out. So guys, I am just extremely lucky that when this happened, when this bearing moved over to the side from, I'm assuming it's just, I'm 99% sure it's installation error here on my part. I'm extremely lucky that it happened at an extremely low RPM. We were barely moving, the bike was almost idling, and it turned off right away. Extremely, extremely lucky, guys. So what I'm gonna do from here is I'm actually gonna reinstall the cam holder, everything, all that stuff. I'm gonna reinstall it, and I'm gonna actually look at that bearing, the spacing. I looked at some old footage, and it's really, really hard to tell if that bearing's in the right place or not. So I'm gonna reinstall everything. I'm gonna make sure that bearing is in place where it needs to be. Again, we got really lucky. We didn't jump any timing. We can pretty much reinstall everything correctly this time, and we should be good. So let's do that. Here to give you guys a quick visual about what I'm talking about. This bearing right here can move side to side. It allows you to kind of remove your crankshaft, or sorry, our camshaft here. Now what I think happened was normally when this bearing is in place, this little cutout, that little tang sits in that little cutout and holds the bearing from coming out to the side, obviously, while the engine's together. Now what I think might have happened was, instead of sitting, say like right here where the bearing's supposed to sit roughly, our bearing might have been sitting right there to where it still looks like it's installed correctly, more or less, but it's just a couple, you know, a couple millimeters too far to this side. And then obviously when we went to go ride the bike, it simply popped out just like that and just put a lot of play in the camshaft to where it wouldn't actuate the valves correctly. I'm really thinking that's exactly what happened here, and again, it's installation error on my part. I was just not careful enough to look at the position of the bearing here and make sure that it actually looks fully seated with the bearing tang and everything, because the difference could be from here to right here in terms of installation. It could have been sitting right here where it's supposed to be, and it was actually sitting right there, you know, and that's pretty hard to notice once the cap is on and covering all this. So again, we'll make sure we get this all installed correctly. Y'all, we got really lucky. I really can't emphasize how lucky we just got that this isn't gonna grenade, or this didn't grenade our motor, because we could have, valves could have hit the piston, we could have had a lot more issues. Alrighty, also the bearing is back in place, everything's back in place. The little locating tangs are in the right spot all the way around. And yeah, I took a picture on my phone because it'd be really hard to show you guys on camera. And I'll take a screenshot from one of the old clips of me putting this engine together. And you can see when I initially put this engine together, the bearings facing or just sitting way further forward in the little housing there versus now where it's supposed to be sitting way further back. And it's just really, really humbling. You know, it's one of those moments where it's like, I've been working on dirt bikes for a long time and I'm usually pretty confident in my abilities. But an error like this, which is such a small error, so easy to overlook, is just, you know, can be, you know, extremely detrimental to our engine. And I can't emphasize this enough. We got really freaking lucky. Our timing is still exactly where it needs to be, and we're really lucky because of that. Because with that camshaft kind of dropping and our chain tensioner, you know, who knows whether or not it was catching up in that moment. If I would have been going a lot faster, the cam could have dropped. The cam chain tensioner might not have been able to keep up, and basically we could easily skip a tooth. So overall, a really humbling moment, because, you know, I felt really, really good about putting this motor together, but I overlooked a very, very, very small, very crucial detail. And we got really, really, really lucky here that we were able to catch it in the most perfect conditions, basically, for this to happen. So definitely a little humbling moment. I'm gonna take my time putting this back together, and yeah, we have nothing else to do but to get it back together. So let's do that. And of course, I'm gonna always do my best to be transparent about something like this. You know, at the end of the day, I am human. I'm not perfect. I've been working on dirt bikes for a long time, but I'm not a robot. So if anything, if you guys take anything from this video, I want you guys to just take that. If you have a Honda and you're working on the top end and you have the bearing style like this on the camshaft, really make sure it's in place, because you can put it together and it'll look good, but if that bearing's not fully seated where it needs to be, you know, it could come out like how we had it here. So I really want this video to be educational. If anything, just really take your time to slow down when we're working on engines, obviously, because there's something so little like that where everything looks right, but it's not. You know, you really gotta slow down for. So. Alrighty guys, huge relief. Just fired it up to confirm it's running good again, and it is. So before I put the skid plate back on, for the first ride I actually never installed the skid plate because I knew right after that ride I'd be doing an oil change. So as you guys saw, I changed out the coolant, drained all the water, looks crystal clear, and we put engine ice in the bike. It's just the coolant I run for all the bikes. It's just what I've ran for a very long time, so it's just kind of what I've stuck with. And yeah, we've done the coolant swap. Now we just need to do the oil change. So let's get that done as well. And just like that, guys, our CRF 450L is back, ready to go on the road here. So we got that after brake and oil change done. Obviously, we fixed the issue there with that cam and that bearing going out of place. We got the water in the radiator swapped out for coolant. And I also did a quick bolt check, and yeah, overall, she's ready for some more road miles. Super excited to keep riding this bike, and yeah, more supermoto content soon to come, guys. And yeah, that concludes this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.